In this video, I want to talk about the need to question everything. Question everything? Yes, everything. So the reasons that things stay the same is because they have not been questioned. So when we begin to ask questions, when we begin to question the status quo, then we begin to effect change as necessary. Questions are good for the brain because they force it to start thinking. So if ever you want to start thinking about something, start with questions, because questions keep the mind rolling. It keeps the mind wanting to think. So they are good for the brain. Thinking is a chemical reaction. So thinking is actually taking place in your brain, is a chemical reaction between the neurons in your brain. So that chemical reaction requires both food and energy and oxygen, okay? Because you need energy for the chemical reaction to take place. And to get that energy, you need food and you need oxygen, okay? Which is why it's important to breathe in regularly, okay? We even have applications now which remind us to breathe, because the brain can be starved of just the correct amounts of oxygen through normal breathing, because we are so preoccupied with what is going on around us that we need to take time, which is why meditation works well, because it encourages you to focus on your breathing as well as blocking out anything which is coming from the outside, okay? So that is why diet is important, and mindfulness and meditation are becoming very important, because we are now leading pretty busy lives, and these lives are not giving us we are not paying enough attention to our breathing. We're not paying enough attention to try to block out some of these stressful environments. So meditation is coming to the rescue in that regard. So breathing exercises help to provide the brain with good supplies of oxygen. I've discovered most of this information from reading, listening to books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, and I dare to question, and then I dare to look for answers, because when you question, you begin to look for those answers. So most people do well in school, and when they graduate, they outsource their continued professional development to sensationalist news bulletins, to religious doctrine, and to football or other sport, and to the news feed on social media, which can be quite sensational, because people are posting things which they think are sensational and will attract the most attention. So we are bombarded daily with sensationalist news, which give us the view that the world is coming to an end. So social media has made it worse, because now these organizations are on every platform and they are repeating the same news, okay? Now we even have fake news to top it all up. So we have fake news, we have alternative facts, but these are just new words for propaganda, and maybe it is not in the interest of Western countries to use propaganda to refer to fake news and to alternative facts, because that is a term which was reserved for the communist countries and for the likes of Adolf Hitler. So the question is, how long have we had fake news for as a human species? So I think we've had fake news for a very long time. Okay, a very, very long time. As long as humanity has existed, there has been fake news. So who has tried to be the sole generator and disseminator of information? Just think, who has tried to be the sole generator and who is the person who has tried to distribute news? Okay, when you think about that, then you begin to see why it is important for information to be controlled. But the internet has democratized information, and now we not only have a source of fake news from the main, say, news organizations, but we have sources of fake news from each individual with a mobile phone and a Wi-Fi.